Have you ever heard of an old game called the Theater? Yeah, I didn't think so. Probably because many say it doesn't even exist. You see, the Theater was an old game released around the same time as Doom. Today, if you ever find it, it is only available on crappy bootleg CD-ROMs, which more often than not, don't even actually contain the game. The actual legitimate copies that they made were released back in the day featured a blank cover with nothing but a sprite of what it seems to be at the ticket taker. He is simply a porn-drawn, pixelated, bald Caucasian man with large red lips and wearing a red vest over a white shirt and black pants. He is completely expressionless. Throughout, some say that if you smash the discs in his face, he's shown as angry as the first time you looked at the cover, though at this point just dismissed it as an urban legend. What is peculiar about the Theater, though? There is no developer named on the jewel case, nor did the game description on the back. It just simply said the ticket taker on the white background on both sides. The game was entirely known for its inability to install correctly. The installation process immediately locks up the computer when the user reaches the licensing agreement. Also, the strange about the licensing agreement was for the Theater is whatever the development studio is supposed to be named, the text is simply a blank line. Anyways, most people who have not claimed to own anything of the original CDs say that they figured how to install the game by simply rebooting on their computer on the licensing agreement with the disc still inside, when they are prompted to press I agree on the startup, when they continue the installation. If a player supposedly manages to find what they believe in a working copy, they have said that the installer window will freeze and stop responding before you can click on your first next button. But they also do that and say that to their PCs do not locked up, and it's only the installer that freezes. It is unknown if these are actual copies or fakes, but it's widely though these working copies are just to draw the internet attention with no proof of the installation effects. On proper installation, the game then starts up without any introduction, besides a main menu that is simply the sprite of the movie theaters in the exterior on the empty city street. The title fades, and then three menu buttons, new game, load, and options. Selecting options immediately crashes the game to the desktop. Load is simply said to not function at all, even if you do have a saved game. Nothing happens when you press this. New game is the only working menu option. Once it is selected and you're in first person view, you are standing in an empty movie theater lobby, with the exception of the ticket taker standing in front of the dark hallway, which you can only assume that leads to the theaters themselves. There is nothing to do at the poorly drawn, mostly intelligible movie theater posters or approach the ticket taker. Once the player moves forward to the ticket taker, very low quality sound clip starts playing "Thank you, please enjoy the movie," along with the speech box saying the same thing. When you walk into the hallway and the screen fades to black and you're in the back of the empty lobby and you do the exact same thing again and again. While this may sound really like a horrible game, a number of particular things occur when you continue to play it. The number of times that you have continued into the hall after giving your ticket to the ticket taker before the strange events has happened is unknown. Most state is completely random and could take mostly anywhere from the playthrough to the 4th of the 400th. What happens next, though, is deeply disturbed some players. First occurrences is when the player fades back after walking into the hallway. This time they will notice the ticket taker is completely absent. The player then, without any other options, decides to walk into a dark hallway. The sound clip in the text box mentioned previously still play in the absence of the ticket taker. But when the player walks into the hallway and the screen does not fade out, it goes pitch black as they walk deeper into the hall, but the player's footsteps sound clip is still playing as they continue to push up the button on their keyboard. Those claiming to have played the original game report to have felt extremely uncomfortable walking down the hallway, anticipating the whole way or something horrible happening. Well, eventually the player is unable to move forward. There is nothing for a few moments before a strange sprite that is described as the ticket taker with a swirl of face appears and stands before the player. The original players of the game say that their bodies immediately froze up after their stomachs churned when they saw the sprite, which has been appropriately named Swirly Head Man. Nothing happens as Swirly Head Man stands before them. Suddenly, a piercing screech plays as the game glitches out. This lasts for a few minutes, with the screeching being continuous. Then the player is abruptly returned to the lobby, with all the sounds and graphics being as they should be. The game continues normally for the next couple of cycles of entering the hallway, with a couple of original players claiming Swirly Head Man would briefly appear and disappear in the corner of the screen as the brisk yelp sound effect plays. Then at some point, after meeting the Swirly Head Man, the player sees the ticket taker pacing back and forth. Although there is no walking animation, the sprite's limbs were just completely static, so he just hops up down slightly as substitute. His eyes with being wide and his mouth open to simulate a worried facial expression. Some players even notice that the movie's posters have been replaced with images of the Swirly Head Man, which caused them to immediately turn their character's head from the other posters and approach the ticket taker. Then another, different low-quality sound clip plays. But the speech box contains nothing but corrupted characters that cause whatever text that would have been from the box to be completely illegible. Due to the extremely low quality of the sound, it is debated of the player exactly what the ticket taker says. At this point, though, it is widely agreed that he says never reached the other levels. Then the screen then fades out once again, returns the player back to the starting point in the lobby. But the ticket taker is gone, and the hallway is blocked by a large brick wall sprite. Touching the brick wall will immediately crash the game, and that's there all is to it. No one knows what the other levels are or how to gain access to them, nor that it's known why the Swirly Head Man causes the actual acute fear for those who have seen them in the game. The original copies of the Theater could have been either lost or destroyed, but the creepiest part is the fact that all the original players of the game claim to occasionally see a brief glimpse of the Swirly Head Man out of the corner of their eyes. And that, my little pretties, was the Theater, a lost game creepypasta. My final thoughts on this story. I have to admit that this is actually a really good creepypasta, actually. This was what I found this one on the Spin Pasta Wiki because I don't know what happened to it. I think it was on the regular Creepypasta Wiki, and I'm pretty sure it might still be on the regular Creepypasta Wiki. I'm not sure. But if you guys are wondering where I found this at, I found this at the, Spin Pasta Wiki. I mean, let me begin with this story. For one, I like the concept of how the game goes. It's not like your typical lost game pasta. This is actually a classic creepypasta from what I do know. That this one is one of the classic creepypastas. Now, this one is a really beautiful and well-made story. I'm not even joking. This one actually provides pretty good context to this creepypasta. I mean, I personally found this one to be amazing and enjoyable story. Like, I remember Mr. Creepypasta narrated this gaming pasta, and I have to say it's a pretty good game. It's got really good spooky features, like it's not random jump scares, no cliched, cheap scares or anything. This one actually provides pretty good context for what is actually happening. It's not your typical Lost Gaming creepypasta. Now, I remember also hearing this from Creepypasta Jr. and Creepypasta. They actually narrated this story as well. And I believe a few other people have narrated this story too. So, yeah, I would have to say a pretty damn good creepypasta. I'm not denying this one bit. It's a beautiful, well-made story for what it is. Now, I'm not sure who the original author of this story is because I know a lot of people have narrated this story, and I've been trying to look for the author of this story for a while. But until I can find out who the original author of this story is, or if the author of this story manages to see this video and manages to comment on it and just let me know that he or she or they or them wrote it. And until then, I'm going to leave this as anonymous for now. If I ever find out who the original author of this story is, I'll be sure to give him or her proper credit. So, yeah, that I just want to state that. I mean, the grammar was pretty good for what it is, although maybe there were a couple grammatical errors in the story. Like, I did see a few grammatical errors, but it's not a really bad story at all. I think it was a pretty interesting, good concept for wondering what this one is. So, I mean, it's a pretty good pasta. I mean, I've seen a few people narrate this story, like I said, and I mean, it's a pretty good creepypasta. I mean, there were a few grammatical errors in this story, and there was a few sentence structuring errors. But other than that, this one was not a bad creepypasta. I thought it was really neat for what this is. I honestly thought that this one was really neat for what this story really is. It's a beautiful, well-made creepypasta. Definitely worth reading. And I definitely have to say, if you guys are looking for a good creepypasta, I recommend you guys go check out this creepypasta, and you will not be disappointed, actually, because I remember hearing how good this story really is, and it's still a pretty good creepypasta, at least to me, that is. I mean, you guys might have your own opinions, but yeah, I mean, I like it personally. I think it's really well made in detail. I mean, it's a classic gaming pasta. So to the author who manages to, well, find this story or something, or maybe find this video and comments and lets me know that he or she, they or them were the ones who wrote the story, and let me know in the, well, comments, and I'll be sure to give them proper credit. So yeah, anyways, with that being the case, that being said, I'm gonna sit here and wrap up this review. I'm gonna say this right now. This is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. A great classic gaming pasta. It's definitely one you should, read, especially if you're a creepypasta fan or something, or if you like gaming pastas. Definitely check this one out. So, yeah. Anyways, what did you guys think of this creepypasta? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better, feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro, because I'm out.